the average new mortgage in Australia nationally is $670,000. And I know that there's going to be people going, don't talk about averages, talk about medians. And that's fine. But effectively, it still gets your brain to the same place, which is that mortgages are so enormous now, and we're paying so much to have them, that it's impacting everything else about our ability to spend on other things, discretionary or non-discretionary, as we go through. And that's just kind of becoming bigger as we go along.
So you don't think Trump's 50-year mortgages are going to help here?
Oh God, what a mess. I don't know, 50 years. Fair dinkum. I mean, it's just such a long time.
We did the maths, and if you look at it, it's like these days at about a 6% interest rate, you're kind of paying your mortgage again in fees. So your $500,000 mortgage, you're paying about $500,000 in fees over 30 years. If you extend it to 50 years, you actually pay double your mortgage in fees.
There you go. Yeah, it's a good calculation to do.
Yeah.
I mean, that says it loudly, doesn't it?
Yeah. So for the mortgage holders out there, or the wannabe mortgage holders out there, how do they fight back? How do they make sure they're not getting done when it comes to getting the mortgage?
Yeah, well, so I said that it's too much, that it's overdone just to look at the interest rate. But you should do that, right?
It's a good starting point. Yeah.
Let's do that still. Yeah. Don't let me talk you out of that. So you want to get on a better interest rate, and you certainly don't need to be with one of the big four banks. I mean, they've got, 3/4 of the whole market sewn up. It shouldn't be that way. We've got, close to 100 lenders, I think. In Australia, we've got tons of them. You've got a wide selection. So that's thing number one. Thing number two is have a really good look and figure out what fees you're paying, in an ongoing way. And if you are refinancing, see what fees that they want to charge you at the outset as well. And then, drive a harder bargain. They will get rid of a lot of those fees if you tell them to. I think keeping it as simple as possible. It's do a comparison as often as you can, and drive a hard bargain on the fees.
Yeah, as I was reading the book, I was kind of doing a mental checklist in my head of like the behaviors that we should be embodying, and one of them that sort of comes over and over again is like, don't be passive, be active, like constantly be checking if you've got a better option. Otherwise, you're going to be subject to the loyalty tax and all of that stuff. And so I think this is a classic example. It's
true. I mean, it's an unfortunate truth, and I wish it wasn't like that, because it's a pain in the behind, and we're all busy, and you got families, you got things to do. I mean, how often do you really want to ruin your day by calling up your telco, and just having a go at them about how much they're charging you? I mean, it sucks that it has to be done, but it is the way we're in it. That's the only thing that you can do, is to be really active and to be a squeaky wheel.
Yeah. Now let's go to auctions, because one thing that surprised me when I learnt it was that auctions aren't a universal way to sell houses. It's Australia just does it this way,
isn't it? So
how do they get us with auctions?
Auctions, yeah. Well, they're a beautiful thing because they get everyone there. They create urgency. Supply and demand. There's one thing. There's a whole lot of people that want it. If you're running a good campaign as a real estate agent, a lot of them will want you to head in the direction of an auction. I think one of the really disappointing things about auctions is that, the reserve is often so different from what has been advertised as the guide price. And that's a very difficult thing to change legislatively. Look, I think the hardest part is being, particularly a young person, and going along when you've seen that there's a house with or any kind of property with it, let's say $600,000 next to it, and then you are what I call auction fodder. You're the one who's bidding it up to that level, and then all of a sudden somebody else comes in over the top, and they're the ones that are going to buy it. And the agent wants you there because you're going to be doing that early bidding that they want. So I think auctions can be very cruel, and I've been covering auctions for a long time. As part of the job, I used to go around on Saturdays to 3 auctions a day and just go and watch with a camera. And I recognise that not everyone wanted me to be there because it's an emotional time, but it's just a lot of the time there were people crying afterwards. Yeah. I mean, it's really hard. And the thing that the book was able to let me do was look into how they do it elsewhere, and it's, as you say, it's a lot more civilised in other parts of the world.
Well, unfortunately, we're not in other parts of the world. So for someone who wants to buy a house in Australia, is it like we don't really have a choice? We're kind of subject to the seller's whims when it comes to how they want to sell.
You're absolutely right about that. I mean, I think first things first is that there are people who can help you. There are buyers advocates out there. Whether or not I talk about this in the book, whether or not you want to engage one is whether or not you can afford it and whether or not they're charging in the right way, in my opinion. And that is to say that they're not charging a percentage of the final price. They're charging you a pre-prepared and pre-agreed upon set amount of money.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what is that? Like, why is somebody charging you a percentage of the sale price when they're, supposedly trying to keep it low?
Yeah. They're meant to
the opposite
negotiate
of
the
the
best
incentive.
price for you, but they get paid more. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a weird one for me. But people can help you. And you're right, you don't have a say in that. And I really hope that some of the states where there are big problems with underquoting, as have been uncovered over years of pretty good reporting, you hope that they kind of get onto those. But for me, if you're lobbing up at an auction, the best thing to do is have a strategy going in. Know what your dream price is. And I've talked to buyers advocates about this, and they usually say the same thing. Know what your dream price is, know what your middle number is, and know what your absolute drop-dead final walk-away number is. And if it passes that, get out of there.
Yeah.
It's so hard to get kind of roped back in. The idea of that whole thing that auctioneers tend to say of, it's just a coffee a week. Increasingly, it's not like that.
Yeah.
I will say this about investing. Everything you do learn is cumulative. What I learned at 20 is useful.